Hey guys, another family dispute on the way. This is Brian, and I'm going to get right into this story. Stepdaughter who disowned us found out I came into some money and demands that I pay a deposit for a house for her mother, but I lost my house because of her lies in the past. So let's get into this story. It is interesting. Definitely need your help on this one. I'm a 21-year-old female, and my 21-year-old female stepsister slept with my now ex-boyfriend of 1.5 years during a family vacation back in December. Now, he broke up with me in January. Then we started talking again in February. He still kept telling me that he loved me, right? Wanted to get back together. You know how that is. And I went through his messages one morning, and that's how I found out they slept together on our vacation. And then they continued to flirt, to sext, and talk crap about me. And then they were discussing how they wanted to be together until the end of January. So all of this while we were together and then broken up. Now, the last message that was sent on the day he came to get his things from my apartment, which I assume was the day he realized he missed me. Now, the whole thing has been just a crap show all the way around, and I'm an absolute wreck. I called him when I found out and told him I was having his friend get the rest of his things and never to speak to me again. Now, I haven't talked to my sister, but she knows. I know, because the first person I called was my dad. Turns out my stepmom knew all about this. Now, she allegedly, according to my ex-boyfriend and stepsister's messages, told her to do whatever makes her happy and that she deserves to be happy for once. Now, I told my dad I can't be in the same house as them whenever I come home from college, and he offered to divorce my stepmom and kick them both out, telling me I will always come first. So am I the a-hole if I tell him to do it? I mean, that's asking a lot. Do you think that I'm taking things too far? All right, so here's some advice from other people so far. Not the a-hole, because he offered. He wouldn't do that if he wasn't already considering it. If you demanded it, that would be wrong. Here's another one, not the a-hole, but don't do this. Tell your dad you appreciate the love and support, that you cannot be in the same house with him, but that this is his marriage and the decision is his. He'll have to make it. It's not right for him to ask you to decide whether he divorces. He needs to make his own choices and own it. There's another one from other people, not the a-hole. Honestly, you shouldn't have to ask him to do anything. You should recognize the deceitful behavior of the woman he decided to spend the rest of his life with and how little she cared about your well-being. And then finally, she's decided her child is priority, and he should do the same. I don't like the implication that you are the one who has to decide that he should leave her. That's going to bring resentment later. He should come to the obvious conclusion on his own. So here's a new update on this story, guys. My sister has been sick for a while, and it's looking like breast cancer. I'm home for spring break right now, and she's staying with other family members for the time being. And I told my dad that if it's cancer, it doesn't feel right to kick them out, and I'll have to just deal with it. Now, as for my stepmom, she claims she never said any of these things that were in the text. I have no idea who to believe now. My stepsister is clearly a liar, but her story seems too specific to really be made up. That being said, my stepmom's version of the story also makes sense and seems too specific. So when I asked her about it, she said, I told your stepsister that she should date him if she's willing to flee the country and change her identity. Sarcasm, you know. So I'm not sure who to believe at this point. I'm hoping to talk to both of them together to see who is lying, but I don't know if it's worth it if my stepsister's really sick. No matter how angry and hurt I am, she needs to worry about her health. Hey guys, Brian here, and let's get right into this one. It's a pretty cool story. Would I be the a-hole if I break off my engagement because of his new views about women? Okay, I'm a 28-year-old female, and my fiance, he's a 34-year-old male, and I used to have a great relationship with him. But for the last year, his political views have really become a problem. I mostly bit my tongue about it, but it came to a head when he accused a woman at his job of lying of her sexual assault. I pointed out that when a woman accuses a man of sexual misdoing, he questions it and says he's lying. He justifies it by saying it's stupid to believe an accusation like that with no proof, but I pointed out that he has no proof that she's lying either. But He's accusing her anyway. Now, he often sends me articles of women, usually teachers, sexually abusing boys. Now, I brought up that he never says the boys are lying or ask for proof. He got very upset and kept repeating that I was trivializing male sexual abuse. I don't feel like I was. I feel like it was just a point of hypocrisy. He denied being biased against female accusers. I reminded him that when the allegations against Diddy first happened, he said feminists were just trying to ruin a successful man's life. Now, unsurprisingly, he never brought up the man who accused Diddy of sexual assault. He defended Diddy up until the videos of him physically assaulting Cassie was leaked. Even then, he said we didn't know the whole story. Now, the final straw was when he was telling me yet again how women are actually worse than men because they are sneaky and conniving, and at least men will F you over to your face. Now, he kept saying that women are far worse people than men, and I just lost it. I absolutely lost. I said that there was nowhere on earth, not now or ever in history, ever recorded that the female violent crime rate is higher than males. And I told him that men kill each other even more than they kill us, so they are a bigger danger to themselves than some girls being sneaky, right? Now, I said blaming women for unfair legislation like conscription makes no sense when men make up the majority of the U.S. government and most, if not all, of all other governments. He was absolutely furious all about this. He didn't argue with me, per se, but he just told me that I was brainwashed by the feminist agenda, and the feminism lied to me and convinced me that I was special. I still don't know where that came from. It was not relevant to anything. Now, I admittedly was very pissed off and said, well, maybe patriarchy lied to you about this relationship being special. And I threw my ring at the table, left the house, and haven't spoken to him since. Now, today, he sent me a long text stating how I belittled him with a comment and that I would be a good wife if I could just stop needing to be right all the time. I haven't responded, and I'm conflicted about if I will respond at all. I feel bad about throwing the ring. I really feel bad that I hurt his feelings by saying our relationship isn't special, but still, to be honest, I'm seriously questioning if I really want to marry this man. He's always been argumentative, not just with me, but with everyone. Normally, I just ignore it, but he was so egregious with his hypocritical BS. Bull crap. I shouldn't have taken the bait, but I didn't feel like men are generally bad. I was speaking out of anger. I don't consider myself to be a super political person. I'm not even sure if I count as a feminist. He just has a new complaint about women every freaking day up to this point. It's so frustrating. I don't know when he became this way, but it sucks. There are still things I love about him, but the things he's been saying may be more than I can forgive. Despite all that, I'm still responsible for my intense outbursts because I ignored his constant women bashing in an effort to keep the peace. I exploded when I could have just spoken up from the start. Maybe if I nipped it in the bud right at the start, I could have been better off. I don't know. I don't know what to do. So am I the a-hole? Guys, this next story up. Would I be the a-hole if I told my late wife's family that she cheated on me? Anna, my late wife, died in a car accident. Person lost control of their car and ran her over, and she passed away immediately. Now, we were both 26 at the time. It was 4 years ago, right before the pandemic. We were having a bad time as a couple. She was extremely jealous of me and also very protective of her phone. Shortly after her death, I found out I had an STD. And surprise, surprise, she was cheating on me. On the day she passed, the guy we went to college was kind of friends with her, sent her messages asking for pictures of their last encounter, and the way he talked, it seems like it was recent. And it seemed that they talked often. I was able to get her phone and laptop, and she didn't change her password because she would always check my phone and I would ask to check hers back. So I had the passwords. Now, there wasn't much because she deleted everything or hid it very well, but the most recent messages, she obviously couldn't delete them, so everything that came after her death was still there. While looking for pictures he asked for, I found pictures of her and him hidden deep in a random place at her work folders on her laptop. And one of them, she had short hair, which she only had right when we got engaged. So she was with him for at least 3 years out of our 6 years together. Now, I also found pictures of 2 other guys, but I had no idea who they were, and there were no messages from either of them anywhere. I messaged a friend and told him that I knew. I told him about the STD and that I won't reveal it to anyone and want to keep it a secret forever. I asked him if anyone else knew, and he said that his ex knew, but he would talk to her. Now, I decided that for the sake of her parents and the siblings, I would pretend that she was a great person and let them have their beautiful memories with her. Now, Anna's older brother, Thomas, who's 34, is a good friend of mine to this day. I would even go as far as to say we're probably best friends. Now, after 2 years of my wife's passing, I was ready to date again. Thomas said that he knew the perfect girl for me. He just wanted me to be sure I was ready for something serious before introducing me to her. Now, it was his sister-in-law, Laura, who's 27. She's a female. We knew each other only superficially, but never really talked before our first date. And I fell for her quick and hard. We started dating for about 3 months, and we were already telling each other, I love you, and I told her I was going to marry her. It's been a little less than 2 years, and we're engaged, and I've never been this happy. I told her all about my relationship with Anna. I still have the evidence of what she did stored away in my computer just in case, and I showed it to Laura. She cried a little and confronted me, but I assured her I was fine and that I was over it. Now, the problem comes with Anna's family, especially her mom and sister. Ever since Anna's passing, every time they talk about her, people want to hear me talk about her. They ask me about her, try to include me in conversations about her. Anna was such a good cook, right? My name? Now, I love when she and my name would banter. You remember my name? Stuff like this. Now, I was able to get by in the beginning by saying it was difficult for me to talk about her, that I was not ready. And they let me be for a while, but ever since I started dating Laura, I couldn't use the I'm not ready excuse. Now, her friend, sister, and mom get annoyed if I don't sound enthusiastic or depressed. Now, I've learned that it's easier to look depressed. Also, if I talk about Anna in any way that isn't portraying her as an angel that came down to earth to bless us with her presence, I get side-eyed. So thankfully, Thomas and her father are great guys and don't push me too hard on this. Now, her dad is always thankful that I attend their family gatherings as we like to talk about our field of work. We always say he considers me as a son. Now, her mom and sister, though, they get pissy if I try to dodge the topic of Anna, and the sister even said it out loud once that it's obvious I didn't love Anna. Now, she apologized after, but I mean, she isn't wrong. By the end, I didn't, and sure as hell don't now. Look, I'm over what happened. I don't feel hate for Anna anymore. I sometimes catch myself wishing she was alive, just so I don't have to pretend anymore. But also, because her death was a tragedy, a lot of people loved her. Her friends organized a reunion for her birthday, and those are incredibly hard. And even though I know her affair partner will be there, I go because I know how much she meant to those people. But this is all starting to get to me because it's affecting Laura. I can't say I love her in front of these people. I can't even hug her, and Anna's sister gets all moody. But her best friend stopped speaking to Laura. They were also friends. Now, Anna's mom even came to us at Thomas's birthday party last week and asked us to stop dancing to respect her grief. She's also contacted my mom and Laura's parents to say that she was incredibly disappointed that I proposed to Laura so soon, saying that we are moving too fast. It's been 4 years. Even if she wasn't a cheater, more than enough time has passed. I'm just over it, and I'm seriously considering telling them all what happened, just to get the weight off my back. Would I be the a-hole if I did this?